Y'all, I'm back, but not with another Q&A. It's your girl Fertility Queen, and I am here to just kind of, I wanted to talk to you about an experiment that I did during my BO program. But before I do that, I kind of have to introduce you to my new home. This is my beautiful ram. I got a cozy little bed here. I got my cute little blankie. And of course a vanity with hooks to hook my zapper, to hook my keys, and my purse. So she's black all the way. Sparkly black, if that. And I got her for a really good deal. When you go car shopping, go at the end of the year. But don't do what I did. Buy the car and 10 days later trade it in. Okay? I wasn't happy with what I had prior, and ended up paying, well, I'm going to end up paying for it even more. But anyways, lesson learned. So the experiment that I had done with the BO, while I was on BO, I took a supplement called Mammary Glandular. Mammary glands. Quite a few male to female were experimenting with this product, right? And it's actually a little bit harder to find compared to the bovine ovarian supplement. So everyone was saying how they think that this would work. They were going to include this in their program. They're going to see how it goes. And I really did not know exactly what to think about, because this is an actual bovine tissue that is part of the mammary, right? The ducts, these lobules, these little glands. Who knows what's ground up in all those mammary thingies, right? But it's not an ovary. So you would think, if it's from the glands of this breast area, wouldn't that work, right? I mean, seems pretty logical. Well, I didn't know what to think. I just knew that there was a reason why these guys were taking it. And gals, whatever, whoever. And they were only getting so much results. So I said, let's try this. I think I was in my 5th month of taking BO, and I decided to add this bovine mammary. So I think I took about 3 pills of what was a 200 milligram of the gland tissue itself, freeze-dried. And I'm going to tell you, this is why I know about prolactin and progesterone levels, and why the balance has to be balanced, has to be right in order to grow. Because I was about a full C cup. I think this was like after my biggest growth spurt or something, and I was like, okay, now what? You know? So within 30 days, I noticed my breasts were changing on this supplement. And I knew it was a supplement. I started to notice that my breasts were going from that nice full C, perky, to a flimsy, flabby, watery, or odd-shaped version of itself. I think I laughed. I said, what are you doing to yourself? Like, this is insane, you know? Like, I reversed my results, right? I wasn't too scared. Like I said, I was laughing. I think I was going through a lot of spiritual trauma at the time, so I didn't care if I had no results or whatever. I was just like, it was just so hideous, I was laughing, you know? Not to say that I wasn't concerned. I was a little concerned, but I was like, this is hideous. And I realized I kept taking it until the full 60 days, right? So I kept taking it. I said, well, I'm going to still take it and see what happens. And it happened even more, okay? So I went from like a full C to like a full A. And I was like, why are they water-like? Why are they odd-shaped? And why am I not responding to the pump? I would pump and there was just no like response. You know, you get a little swelling, you get a little firmness, and then it goes back down, whatever. Like your breasts are sensitive enough to it that it has a reaction. But when your prolactin levels are higher than your progesterone or your estrogen, what happens? Okay, so I started to realize after reading a bunch of literature, like, this is replacing, what is happening is the fat stores are being replaced by milk stores. And this makes sense because the mammary tissue from milking cows, you're taking that in. They're like hormones, they're freeze-dried. They're like, your body's taking them in and is developing those milk glands, which is why you had a lot of male to females take the supplement and had noticed a water-like breast or water balloon-like breast grown. They said they grew a little bit and then all of a sudden there was nothing more. They have the jiggle. So it made sense to me because let's say you have a male to female, they try the supplement, they're coming from like no development. And then when they take this for 6 months, their ducts start developing and start storing milk. So they get that jiggle. But you can only store so much milk, you know? You can only increase your breast size so much if your prolactin levels are over your progesterone or your estrogen. It makes sense. So they were developing a different part of their breasts. Not saying that they weren't developing the other part of their breasts, like those little lobes, little lobules for fat storage. But the thing was, this hormone was dominant. This was feeding that prolactin, that ductal growth for milking. Thus, it was dominant, storing milk over fat storing. So it made sense to me what was happening. And when I continued into the second month of full 60 days, my breasts were completely transformed. Full A cup, water balloon-like, not responding to pumping, looked hideous. And I said, you know what? I am done. I'm not taking this supplement anymore. And I stopped. So I had to continue on with my program. It took a full 60 days to revert back to what I originally was, which was full C. And thank God. I got my breasts back. I think it took a little Vitex or some progesterone herbs that I had like a little, like, I think it was called Meno Change or something like that. And I would just take that like during the last half of my cycle. Took that for a few months or so, but it took 60 days to get my breasts back. So this is how I know if you're not responding to pumping, if your breasts feel like water balloons, if they're odd or misshapen looking, they're flabby, they're not perky, they're not firm, chances are you have higher androgen levels, like higher prolactin levels. And a lot of you ladies are struggling with this. So you have to get your tests done. Peace of mind, okay? That way you don't give up. You stick with what you know is factual on your sheet. Are blood tests and saliva tests, like all that, accurate? I don't know. Probably to a degree, but it's something. It's something. It's a little piece of information that will help guide you. And a lot of you ladies aren't taking your tests. And if you are taking your test, you're missing the prolactin. Get the prolactin test done. Compare it to your progesterone. Compare it to your estrogen. Compare it to your testosterone. And you'll see. Or else it's like all a waste. You're just wasting that precious time, effort, your amino acids, you know, because you're storing milk over your progesterone, your fat stores, over your estrogen. I noticed the same thing would happen when I would take clove, turmeric. Certain herbs will do the same thing. They will up your prolactin. You think, oh, this is a good herb. I'm going to totally include it in my diet. I'm going to totally include it in my program. No. You better be sure that this is not going to boost your testosterone or your prolactin levels. So, I just advise, always feel your breasts. Always figure out how you're responding to the pump. They have to firm up a little bit. If you're just not reacting to it, you need to get a test done. Hold off on the pumping, because the more you pump with prolactin levels higher than your estrogen or progesterone, you're going to increase milk stores. You're going to contribute to the milk. And this is why, like I said in my other videos, this is why when women get pregnant, let's say they're like a nice perky B or C or even D, then they breastfeed for a certain amount of time, then their milk dries up. Maybe they take the tablet, maybe they just, their stores dry up. They're done breastfeeding. Their breasts are gone. The fat has been replaced by the milk. And then when the milk dried up, they were left with nothing. Flat, pancake-like breasts. Feel like water balloons. That's how I know, because I did this experiment, and it makes sense. And every time I took a freaking herb for cleansing, whether it was like milk thistle, cloves, whatever, oregano was a big one. Oregano, it does the same thing. I needed 2 to 3 cycles to get that back. And how did I do that? Well, this time I took the Vitex, and it works. So if you're having one of those moments right now where there's something in your diet you're eating contributing to milk producing, lactating herbs, fenugreek is one of them. How do you get your breasts back? Try Vitex. Try wild yam. Try, what else? I think that's the only 2 that I really know. Progesterone cream. You could try that. And lay off of the herb. Keep it simple. Do not add a lot of herbs. Follow the guide. The guide that I send you with your purchase, follow that guide. It will tell you what's most common to take with the kind of labs you have. And do your own research too, because I don't know everything. I just know what I've experienced. And that's pretty much it. So I will tell you that I started back up pumping because why not? What else am I going to do? And I'm not used to it. So I have red marks. Do not overpump to where you get the red marks. This was 4 days ago, so everything has gone down, Why am I pumping? I don't know. I'm underweight. I don't know. Why am I pumping? I think to get the blood flowing. Yeah. I'm doing a lot of cardio right now, running upstairs, downstairs, walking, and I'm losing a little too much weight. I'm still 95 pounds. I'm trying to gain some weight. Oh, that's why. I'm trying to gain my weight back. And I don't want it to go to my stomach, which is first priority, because I used to overeat when I was younger, as a kid. I want to reroute the fat back. Even though the fat cells are most likely still here, I just want to remind my body that this is priority. So I'm getting the blood to flow here. I'm not worried about my ass so much, because my ass was always the bigger thing out of everything. But I am toning it going up and down those stairs. Health-wise, I'm not as sick as I used to be, thankfully. When I was living with that lady, that crazy-ass lady. I was getting sick. I don't know if she, did something to poison my ass or what, but I was sick when I was there. I was sick. And as soon as I left, I started getting better. Maybe it's spiritual, maybe it's emotional. I don't know. 2 dogs, 1, 2, 3 women. And you know what? She was pretty grimy. She didn't wash her hands. She had long nails. She never fucking washed her hands. Like, it's just gross. And maybe that's what it was. And then I take the train, and then I take the bus, and then I'm getting sick from all that. Who knows? Then I go back on the train and back on the bus and back to the house, you know? Anything is possible, but I feel so much better now. My appetite is back. But, I mean, that's the update, so... Oh, and I do have other health issues that I'm not disclosing, but I've been dealing with them for a long time. So, I am doing better in that regard, but I'm still working on that as well. So, anyways, thought I'd let you guys know, thought I'd share, and, yeah, I'll see you back, maybe with another Q&A.